gives me great pleasure to introduce a film by Rhys Straw called Dear Nature. Dear Nature comes from a set of letters I wrote in the early part of 2018. I wrote a letter a day for 81 days. This period of time for me was intense, and I was trying to better understand the historical nature of the human relationship to the natural world and how we might be able to better improve our relationship to our environment. When the book was written and published, I asked Rhys if he would be willing to make a film about the work. Rhys went and organized an amazing series of readings from many different voices and accents of all of the letters, and then started to put film together to encompass those readings. When I first saw the film, I was just so amazed by how beautiful it is and how contemplative it is. I've watched it many times since, and it's the kind of film that really will just put you into a place that I think is very, very helpful, particularly in these times where we are all experiencing isolation in different degrees. So it is with great pleasure that I welcome you to watch this film, and thank you very much. Dear Nature, I have always loved the unknowns of you, but can we ever truly be together? Yours, John.
Dear Nature, it's been a while, but I feel moved to say how sorry I am that our relationship has become so problematic in recent times. It seems us humans have been affecting your effects for many years now. I think we always wanted to control your wonder to our benefit. But to realise the agents of such control may lead to our extinction has confused and unsettled our relationship with you. What to do? Yours, John.
Dear Nature, we have been lovers. We made deities from your wonders. We worshipped you, laid our fears at your feet. We thought that we needed you to need us, but wasn't that just some way of seeking control? Maybe we find it hard to accept that you are the most powerful and complex set of relationships we can encounter. Perhaps we got jealous of all your other affairs. In our rush to evolve, with our fights and flights, we've got lost amongst our own conceits, spinning such a terrible storm. I'm sorry. What to do? Yours, John.
Dear Nature, in the beginning farming was our evolutionary way. It fed us. We learned how to work your soils and follow your seasons. We tried so hard to acknowledge your amazing ways. Ritual after ritual constructed to try to guarantee your consistency, a courtship of a kind, even love of a sort. But love dulls. We slowly forgot you in our fewer to move on. So many clearings, so much damage. Our conceit has been our desire for you to need us, to rule over you. When such a desire seems to be reproached, it troubles our self-esteem, an unrequited desire. All along, we so wanted you to need us. Perhaps we could not bear the thought that we needed you, but you didn't need us. We want to be loved. Yours, John.
Dear nature, in truth, we slowly ignored you as our need for something greater than ourselves evolved the narratives and rituals of our religions. We could only find some sort of trust in reflections of ourselves. But these are going now, and we're left in the strangest nihilism without purpose and feeling, disconnected. If only we had understood that you were greater than we are. I think we needed to be needed for something, but forgot where we were. Yours, trying to navigate our relationship, John.
Dear nature, God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground." This is my guilt and worry. We have filled the earth, we have subdued it, we do rule over it. What is the cost to ourselves of subduing all that we seem to encounter? Yours is a vast history, ours is a blink in that history. Perhaps that's where the hope lies in our geological youth. We are young and still learning. I'm sorry. Yours, John.
Dear God, I have been writing to nature. Forgive my bluntness, but do your teachings help us to form a relationship with nature, or are they simply about us? I am perplexed with the sentiments of rule and subdue that is talked of in your scripture. Isn't this unhelpful? Yours, John.
Dear nature, I write to you on the understanding that I see you as a physical entity that causes and regulates phenomena in the world. I am sure that, as a species, we want our culture to take place of you, a desire for the sovereignty over the world, to become the entity that causes and regulates phenomena in the world. It is a sad truth that we have affected you, a tragic consequence of our desire. It is even sadder if we think these effects are credent in our claim of sovereignty. We have caused physical changes in the regulation of phenomena, but we are not those of phenomena. Sovereignty is our delusion. Such a delusion threatens us and, as a consequence, many other living species. We need to know that sovereignty is with you and will always be so. Yours with sorrow, John.
Dear nature, we are leaving the European Union. This has made many people angry. Anger radicalizes our thoughts and beliefs as the gap between the privileged rich and the forgotten poor becomes ever wider. It seems that we are all retreating to our own frozen islands of belief, a place of comfort for some and dread for others. Do you have a view of sovereignty? The map on our kitchen wall defines borders of belonging, many of which are straight lines. I notice you have a few straight lines in your ecology. Yours, thinking the falcon cannot hear the falconer, John.
Dear nature, I can imagine the sheer joy for the earliest of farmers as they produce food to feed themselves and their family. What a triumph of learning through you, a settled relationship. But what happened when the farms produced a surplus? Surplus is a third party in our relationship. It is a place of separation. Surplus food gave the opportunity for trade or sales outside the needs of the community. This is when we fell for the idea that you were, in some way, deficient. Our need for a surplus focused attention on you improving. Efficiency melded in the pressure of a market. We wanted more and more from you. Growing yields belied the damage we were doing. We signed our names in your soils. Perhaps we did not know of this, but we do now. It is a cycle that shows us our deficiencies. It is we that need to improve. We can do better. No more signing in your soil. Yours, John.